guys, so today I thought I'd talk about my favorite multitasking products. There are several skincare and beauty products that work great for more than one purpose. So these are some of my favorites. So if you're looking for some multitasking products that are great for busy or sometimes lazy people, sometimes I'm lazy, these are it. And leave your thoughts and comments below. So my first pick is a Jung Sun Soothing Moisture Essence. It's 27 bucks. I will say on days when I am so tired or I don't feel well, I will still cleanse. I will almost always cleanse. But if I'm just really tired, I'll cleanse and then I'll smooth this over skin. It works great as an essence and sometimes just a nice moisturizer. So I'll slather this on and then go right to bed. So typically, unless I'm very, very sick, we'll always apply something just to keep my moisture. And it's got broccoli, peptides, soluble collagen, ceramides, pumpkin, beta-glucan, avocado, full of good ingredients. Next up is the Dermatology Tinted Universal Moisturizer, SPF 46. It's 29 bucks. This one works great as a sunscreen as well as a foundation. It's got enough tint in it to even out skin tone. So if you're looking for something that's really nice as a sunscreen and moisturizer and kind of a foundation, this kind of does all of them. It's a combo chemical mineral sunscreen and it's still got a nice tone. The tone is universal for most people. Except for the very, very fair, because it can end up making you look a little too deep. But overall, when you're just looking for something that's very quick and easy, this is nice. It's hydrating, it's got sun protection, and it evens out your skin tone so you don't have to apply foundation afterwards. So it's really nice for that. Next up, this one's a little bit more expensive than I like to recommend, but overall, it's nice. It's 49 bucks. It's the Tatcha Serum Stick. And I will say I typically carry this one in my purse. I don't use it a lot of times otherwise, but I carry this in my purse because it works nice as a lip balm. It also works nicely to even out skin tones or dry patches. Sometimes I'm out all day and I don't get home until late. And then I notice a little bit of dryness or something like that, or on my hands or patches on my face. And I'll use this, and you can also use it as a lip balm. So it's very nice. It is expensive, but overall it's a nice multi-use product, and I don't like to carry lotions and things like that around with me because it's just another thing to carry around, you know, and your bag's already heavy enough. So this one does the trick for that. It's got rice bran, vitamin E, squalane, nice multitasking product. Next up, I've got the Klairs Midnight Blue Calming Cream. This one works great as a sleep mask or just a evening time moisturizer. It's wonderful. It's 26 bucks, so it does a great job for that. It's great for sensitive skin types, dry skin types, oily skin types, so it really works well. Sometimes I just use this when I go to bed, and it just works nicely. It's got Peptides, Shea Butter, Purslane, Chamomile, Centella. It's got it all going on in there, and it's just wonderful moisturizer or sleeping mask or both when you want it to be. Next up, I've got the Super Goop Shimmer Shade SPF 30. So I gave this to my friend. She had skin cancer right around her eye, right in the corner of her eye. So this one that comes in 4 different shades. It's $24, and it's basically eyeshadow and eye protection all in one. The eye area is typically very vulnerable because a lot of times it's hard to get sunscreen close. And a lot of sunscreen makes people's eyes sensitive or itchy or dry, or sometimes they make their eyes water. So sometimes something like this is nice because you can use it right around that eye area, and it's got 4 different shades. What shade do I have? First Light. And yeah, so it works nicely. You can apply it. You can apply it to your whole eye area. It's almost brightening too. So if you get the light shade, it's almost very brightening. So you could use it other places where you wouldn't typically apply eyeshadow or even sunscreen. So it's nice for that. So great multi-purpose product. And I like this shade. I wonder if they have I think this is the lightest shade they have, but it could be wrong. But I like the lightest one because then if you get it kind of elsewhere on your eyes, it doesn't make you look like you messed up your eyeshadow. You know what I mean? So, okay, next up, I've got the Numbuzin Vitamin Niacinamide Concentrate Pads. So these are great. You can use them. They're typically recommended to be used as like a toner. But you don't use the toner, you just use these little sheets. But I also find myself using them sometimes just as a little bit mask, like a mask, you know what I mean? Like, so around like where you get dry patches, sometimes they're on your forehead, or sometimes I get dry patches in between my eyebrows or around my mouth. Sometimes I can just lay them down on that area for a few minutes and not remove it and let it soak in. There we go. I will say the tweezers that they send are a little bit iffy, but they're recommended to be used as a cotton pad, but they typically will stay if you kind of set them on your skin. They'll kind of stay on as like a mask almost and give your skin some hydration, and then you're good. It's better than using like a whole sheet mask, or you can just use it as a toner. It does a pretty good job as a toner. Nice ingredients. There we go. And pretty good at makeup removal too. So these are already pre-soaked little pads and pretty efficient at what they do. So I like them. It's nice. Good ingredients in here. Wonderful for most skin types and great for brightening skin up as well. So I will link to these all below. Okay, next up I've got the Ordinary Multipeptide Lash and Brow Serum. At first I didn't love this, and I will say I typically use this now just on my brows. I do think it helps. It's a nice option though. A lot of people have eyes that are sensitive to lash serums that contain prostaglandins, and prostaglandins are typically the ones that are really responsible for fast lash growth. However, they can dry eyes out as well. And sometimes some people don't want to use them because they have like blue eyes. Sometimes they get dark in them, and it may or may not be permanent. Some people say it's permanent. Some people say after I stopped using it, my eyes got better, went back to their normal color. I don't know, but if I had blue eyes, I wouldn't want to mess with it or even chancing it, screwing it up. And this has a lot of great reviews, so now I've been just using it on my brows, and I think it's been helping. So, yeah. And a lot of people have had really good luck with it, so go figure. My initial point of using it on my brows was I didn't want to just waste it, and then I started using it on my brows. I'm like, yeah, I think it's a little bit better on my brows than it helped my lashes. I think it helped my brow area more than it did my eyelashes, so... okay, one other product from this brand, Jung Sung. This is their hybrid face and eye cream. I really love the ingredients in here. It's really wonderful. It's $15. The bottle's big. What is it? I think it's right around 3 ounces or so. Of course, it says nowhere on here. 80 milliliters. So, what is that? It's like 3 ounces? I don't know. Whatever. I think it's 3. Anyway. So, wonderful anti-aging formula. It's got peptides. It's got Centella. It's got ceramides, beta-glucan. And it's really affordable. You can certainly use this as a lash and eye, or an eye and face product, or a neck product, or sometimes dry patches on your body you can use it for and not feel guilty because it's not super expensive. And the bottle's pretty big. Next up, so for a makeup product, I just picked this one up. It came recently, or just was released recently, and I picked it up. I'm using it to underneath my makeup. It's the Kus BB Burst, and it's a foundation with copper peptides, and it's $38. A lot of foundations now are marketed as, oh, your skincare and foundation in one, but most of them don't deliver that. Most of them overpromise and underdeliver. This one I was actually impressed with. So in here, it's got some really nice skincare ingredients and still works great as a foundation. We've got copper peptides, squalane, sodium PCA, vitamin E, just to highlight some of them. This shade I got is, does it say in here? 13, light, cool. I'll just do a little swatch, but I think the shade was pretty right on for me. It's hard to pick one online, but it really works well as a foundation and feels nice and does feel like it's giving your skin some love. So there you go. It's got a nice glowy finish to it. So for an actual foundation that with actual skincare ingredients that actually does something, I'm impressed with this, and it has no scent or anything like that. It doesn't have sunscreen in it, is kind of the only disappointment. But otherwise, it actually is a foundation that actually does do some nice skincare benefits. Okay, next up, I've got a few more. The Pacifica Sunny Glow Bronzing Drops Complexion Enhancer at $16. So this is just basically, it's a bronzer that you mix in. Every brand these days is coming out with one. This one is one of the most affordable ones. So you can use it by mixing it in with your moisturizer, serum. You can mix it with your foundation for a glow, or you can mix it or apply it onto your cheekbones, or they're mentioned your jawline, things like that. Some people recommend mixing it with your sunscreen. I don't recommend that. And a lot of companies and brands are coming out with bronzing drops with SPF in them. So turn anything into a sunscreen, but don't do that. Don't do it. It's just impossible to do it well. You're not a formulation expert. So don't mix these with sunscreen. Don't mix anything with sunscreen. Apply it on its own. You just don't know. And certain ingredients sometimes can clash with each other. So you're better off not mixing it. But anyway, mixing with this with a serum or foundation or applying on its own is great. Okay, next up, I've got two of these similar products. First one is Naked Sunday's Hydrating Glow Screen, and the other one is the Hello Sunday, the one that's the retouch one. And these are basically face mists with sunscreen in them. So I will link to the one from Naked Sundays now at Target. It's $23. And the Hello Sunday one I really enjoy as well. It's $21. And you can apply this as a sunscreen. You have to apply it very liberal if this can be your main source of sunscreen. Or you can just pack it with you and use it to reapply your sunscreen. And it also is kind of a setting spray as well. So you can use it in both those ways. I don't recommend you just using this on its own as your only sunscreen. But if you're going to use it to reapply it throughout the day, that's a little bit better. It's hard to apply liberally a mist. So keep that in mind. It's better to use as retouching or setting spray or an additional layer of sunscreen. So check those two out. I guess Naked Sunday is now at Target. I had no idea. So that's kind of exciting because they're an Australian brand. Okay, couple more. So these are two cleansers that I found work really well as on damp skin as well as dry skin. And I will say the PSA Reset, I love this stuff. It's out of stock everywhere. Apparently they're coming out with more. So I don't know when, but I wanted to mention this one, and I wanted to mention it's out of stock. So when it's back in stock, hopefully soon, we'll know more. But the Vegan Yammer Cleanser is great. You can use it on your dry face to remove sunscreen and makeup. It doesn't remove stubborn makeup the best, but it does remove most other things, sunscreen, oil, and things like that. So apply it to dry skin, or if you just want to kind of use it as a second step cleanse, you can just use it on damp skin, smooth it over your skin and rinse off. It's really nice. It's $21. I didn't love it at first, but I ended up really falling in love with it. So the more and more I tried it, so the bottle's almost empty now. So I don't know, I'm harsh on cleansers. I didn't like this one either the first few times I tried it. Now I repurchase it frequently, so you never know. Okay, one other thing, the Color Science Brush On Mineral Sunscreen. This one is $55. I don't know when it got so expensive, but a lot of other brands have similar products similar to this, so you don't necessarily need to buy this one. But anyway, this one's kind of a retouch one. I wouldn't trust this as your sole source of sunscreen, but if you use these as a setting powder, that's the way to go. Don't use this as your sole source because you'd have to apply so much your face would look ridiculous. But other brands like It Cosmetics, Super Goop has one. I think Paul's Choice has one. There's a lot of options. This was just the first one I saw in my cabinet. So anyway, so those are nice. And then The Ordinary is a couple products that a lot of people have found lots of uses for. Their glycolic solution. A lot of people use this on their underarms as kind of a form of deodorant, which is interesting, but it actually works. And now there's deodorants that are just glycolic acid. Kosas has one. Several brands have them. And then the other one is their peel, the Ordinary Peel, which is used as a peel. You apply it and then rinse it off, and it kind of freshens up your skin. It's pretty strong, but a lot of people use it on their calluses on their feet or calluses on their body to remove them and to help soften them. So some products from The Ordinary really have a lot of multi-purpose properties. So anyway, so these are kind of my picks. I'm interested in what you guys are using that has more than one use, so that's great for busy days or days you're lazy or days you're just not feeling good. So anyway, leave a comment and I will see you more tomorrow. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.